Yeah,
references that like.
I like a lot of comics.
I gotta go to Bates. Where are you at? Oh yeah, it looks like you're in Bates too. It says you're in Sagaius.
Hmm.
You know, there's a thing about squadrons. I'm trying to look this up.
But
You can create a squadron for 10 mil. Well, that's not. But I don't know what the benefit of it would be.
I think there's only missions the squadrons can do, right?
Uh, browse squadrons. Huh.
I imagine they pay really good, but
Huh. No, it's just a thing that it's just player groups is all. Like guilds. Like you ever played an MMO and you created a guild?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just like
There's
organized
got to be
player
some kind
groups.
of perk for it. It's
Well,
almost like a wing.
hold on, what's this say? Enemy ships have been sent after you. Enemy ships have been sent after me. Alright. Onward to Bates. Thinking about that trip out to the Guardian Drive.
A long ass trip.
Yeah. Like, we would have to either. Well, here's the thing. From what I've seen, it's recommended we take Sidewinders out there, even though it's like the insanity of getting Sidewinders out to there would be absolutely ridiculous. We would have to get really used to doing a lot of fuel scooping, and I mean like circling stars several times fuel scooping. You know, we got to get used to that scoop in and then scoop out. Wait till your engines cool back down and then go back in, scoop out. Yeah, that'd be a pain in the ass. But I was thinking, uh, the taking, um, what you call it, the Asp Explorer. The Asp Explorer, which is about 6 million in its own right. Yeah, it's a, somewhat pricey. But in like the grand scheme of things, it's relatively cheap. The Asp Explorer is good for long distance stuff like that. Um, but think of what's good about the Asp Explorer is that we can kind of deck it out a little bit. It's got decent weapon systems on it, not too bad. It's got good placement on them too. Um, yeah, I just don't know if we can deal with the Guardian Sentinels like in a combat means or anything. But I was thinking maybe the Asp Explorer might be our
Yes.
best bet in terms of like a long distance travel.
I don't know, it's starting to seem like a lot. Like maybe it is something we need to wait for later.
Yeah,
'Cause if I bought that shit, that'd be half my money, and then if somehow we got blown up, it'd be a lot of money.
yeah. Well, the thing is though, is like it's high risk, high reward. If we succeed in accomplishing it, we forever have access to jump drives that are like 1,000 times better than anything else we can buy in the galaxy. Or well, not 1,000 times. They're about basically about 10 times, realistically. But yeah, we would basically be able to triple our jumps, almost quadruple them, our jump distance, regardless of what ship we're in.
I think.
But yeah,
What
it's
ship
some.
did you get before the crate?
Huh?
Bro, it's crazy the prices. They go from.
Yeah, the crate is 45 mil.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
goes from 6 million to 45.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's such a big difference.
There are other ships. Yeah. At grade, there's a huge jump. But yeah, there are some ships that are in between there that we just haven't seen. They're at other docks, I would assume. But yeah, there are some. Yeah, that is a bit of a huge jump.
I need to try and get to where I can get like another good transport ship that can carry like 200 or something.
You want the
That way I
Type
can make
7.
a
You
couple
want the
million
Type
dollars real
7.
quick again.
You want to take that Type 6 you got and trade it in for that Type 7 as soon as you can. That's what I
How
did.
much is the type stuff?
17. But
I
if you
have
have like a fully decked
12.6.
out, if you have like a fully decked out with like A's and everything, Type 6 with a trade-in, it's like 12.
Mm. Mm.
So yeah, get about like
That's how much I have right now.
yeah, get about like oop, get like about 13 million under your belt, and then yeah, trade in that Type 6 for a Type 7, and then you'll be like doing 150% more cargo space. You'll go from having 100 to over 260.
Performance enhancers back to that place I was at.
The
So it's
to
called now.
yeah to Ferguson's whatever in Myanmar. Let me
Yeah. Yeah.
um either consumer technology or performance enhancers. You'll make the same on either.
I should see which ones I can buy more of. Huh. Oh, it's all gonna be the same space.
But yeah, there's a lot of things that we can do that are well, it's similar to like to the going the Guardian and whatnot. There's dangerous things that we can do that it's beneficial we as a group do together, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Again, like everything in this game's kind of done better together. You can cover each other's asses a little bit. 9 heavy. And the reason is that with the Type 9 heavy, I can do all the mining that I want to do and have a cargo bay so that not a cargo bay, but a fighter bay so that I can launch a fighter so that I can have somebody covering my ass while I'm uh, uh, mining, you know? Because when you're mining, um, you're out there with mining lasers and shit. Like, yeah, you can use them as weapons, but they're not really like they're not designed as weapons. No, you need to go out there with an extra fighter pilot, um, to cover your ass and actually be able to take on a pirate ship that may come by. Because if you're out there mining,
Damn. So
sooner or later
when you
pirates are gonna
mine
show up.
stuff, it's like you're getting like gold and cobalt for free, huh? And then making full profit off that.
Oh, dude, it's better than that. Dude, mining, you get shit that you can't buy anywhere, like void opals. Void opals are some of the
Yeah.
most profitable shit in the game. One, the buyout on them ranges anywhere from 50 to 100,000 a unit, sometimes more, depending on what station you're at. But you can't buy them anywhere. You can only get them mining, so it's pure profit. But trying to find void opals and whatnot in an area, that's one thing. But if there's void opals in an area, everybody else knows that there's void opals in an area. So you're out there mining void opals, pirates, raiders, they're all going to come after you. That's why
How does
I'm not,
everyone know?
because they can all figure it out the same way you can't.
But you had to just come across it, don't you?
Yeah, you gotta scan for it and all this other stuff and whatnot, but pirates can have the same scanning equipment too. So they, and plus, if pirates are operating in a star system, they know where the void opals are at. You know, they're going to be hanging around out in that in the ring of whatever gas giant already, anyways, because they already know what's out there, and they already know that every miner in any nearby star system is going to be coming here to get their void opals. So the pirates don't even have to be really searching. All they got to do is just hang out in the rings of that gas giant, and they just got to wait for ship signals to show up, and they will inevitably show up.
Is
It's
this like
yeah.
NPCs or real players you're talking about?
Well, either it's both. Come on, dog, stop barking. Um, it's it's NPCs or and players. Like I'm sure players do it too. Even though we're not gonna really find too many combative players in these areas. But yeah, players can do it too. But yeah, pirates. Yeah, NPCs are out in those. If there's good mining to be mined, there's NPCs somewhere in the vicinity of there that will show up and eventually attack your ass. Yes, that's that's how this game works. The RNG is pretty unforgiving in this game. All right, so but yeah, that's why like I'm not gonna really worry about mining until I get that Type 10 heavy. Let's see, 48, 21. All right, give me that copper.
Mm.
48 of those. 56 of these. 63 of these. And as many of those as I can carry. 76. Okay, cool.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
I'm going back to Grave. I got a full cargo.
Landing gear retracted.
But yeah, the thing why like a lot of the like that is with the NPCs and whatnot, with like why like doesn't matter what we do, we're we're gonna run into a lot of NPCs. We're still in the bubble. Um,
Yeah, what
Now,
if we tried to get far away to go mine where there
well,
wasn't
that's
a
the
lot of
thing.
people?
Once you get outside the bubble, where there are no space stations, well, there are, but very little. Where you get outside the bubble and there's no, there's nothing out there. But yeah, out there, yeah, there's not too many NPCs, not too many players either.
Frameshift drive charging.
There ain't nothing out there. There's Thargoids, lots of aliens,
Speed restrictions are now lifted. Have a safe trip, Commander.
but there ain't much else out there, and ain't neither of us in a position to be taking on Thargoids at all. We don't even have Thargoid weaponry. We would have to outfit with special weaponry just to take on their ships. Those cannons are expensive as shit.
Fuel scooping.
So yeah, that's the other reason why we're kind of still in the bubble and whatnot. Is because like we literally could not afford to really fly out beyond the bubble. There's too much shit out there that we are not financially prepared for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you really haven't started until like you've made your first like 200 mil. Like that's the kind of game this is. Like it, it's one of them long haul games. This is more like an MMO than it is a space. Well, I mean it is a space sim, but it's definitely an MMO
Frameshift drive
as
charging.
well. There's there's a lot. There are some grindy aspects to it for a variety of reasons, but um it's got raids and everything else. It's an MMO.
Right.
But yeah, it's once we get like once we get good explorership,
Temperature critical.
the either the Asp Explorer is all right. The Crate Phantom is a good explorership. Um, but apparently the Diamondback Explorer is the best of the explorer ships. That's the one I want to go for. But yeah, we get a good explorer ship. Find ourselves
Frameshift
some
drive charging.
somebody who deals with anti-Thargoid weaponry. Um, yeah, and we get some we get our explorer ships all decked out and whatnot. Doing those long distance travels would actually be a lot better. But yeah, we wouldn't even be leaving the bubble until like taking those long trips outside the bubble.
Objective detected.
Um, yeah, we would have to go do the Guardian jump drive first before even considering that.
Message.
Because, like, doing mining and everything is, like, that's something that we would have to do in dealing with the engineers as well. The engineers require um, a lot of mining. So that's the other thing I'm waiting for, too, is, like, I'm not going to really mine until I start screwing around with engineers.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to screw around with engineers until I go out to the star system to get the damn Guardian drive. So that's kind of like the step-by-step goals as to like how we get the Guardian drive, we screw around with the engineers, get fully outfitted, engineer the shit out of our things, then then go lead the bubble to go to Colonia to get the rest of the engineers to finish out our engineering.
A lot of shit.
Yep. And then once we do that, we're more or less like set in terms of like the early game grind. Shit, it took man, put me right back in the interdiction. That's the thing. If they could take you out and put you back in, that means that ship is flying with two interdiction devices.
Wait, what happened?
The I managed to escape one interdiction, right? And I managed to evade it, and then he immediately put me in interdiction again. So he's flying with two interdiction devices on his ship.
Damn.
Like, and that's the thing. That's an NPC. Like, can you imagine the crazy shit players do when they want to be trolling dicks?
I hope I don't find out.
I've only been shot down by one player. It wasn't even a fair fight. And that was me running around in the HIP 54580 system. What is that? Yeah. Hold on. Shit. Yeah, HIP 54530. That that recently just became unlocked. And so like all the players who've been playing forever, they were all there. So like it was a lot of fun and combat was cool. But yeah, I got interdicted by this dude in an Imperial Clipper. I didn't stand a chance. It was an elite player, like real player, not an NPC. It was an elite player in an Imperial Clipper. I was in a Crate Mark II that I hadn't even fully decked out yet. So it wasn't even as good as my current Crate Mark II. There was no chance. Wait, I was dead in seconds. But I guarantee, like, that player, if he's got an Imperial Clipper, and he's running around with an Imperial Clipper, he's an elite player with an Imperial Clipper, and he's running around with it in a contentious area like that. That dude had that thing engineered.
Escape again. I got like $3 million worth of gold and silver on me.
Yeah, don't lose that. Whoo! I managed to sneak this shit in. All right.
Landing gear deployed.
I'm illegally smuggling weapons in the grave. Well, the last couple of times that I was doing it, they were scanning my ship and kept finding me. But I managed to sneak in this time without incurring a fine.
Report to station services for more information, Commander.
Mission board. Yeah, with this Type 7 transport, I was able to complete four, I was able to complete four of these sourcing missions and put a dent into a fifth one.
Nice. How much
I
did you
mean,
make off all of it?
let's see. What I make off of this one. Hold on. Let's see. I made 1 million off of this one.
Incoming message.
$531,000 off of this one. Let's see, another 531 off of that one. So 2 million so far. $1.2 off of that. So I think I'm like at like a 3.3 or so.
And straight profit. That's good.
1.5 off of that one. So let's see, that's 4.7. Eh, 176,000 off of that one. That was a small delivery. Yeah. Yep, 4.7 and put a dent into that wing mission. God, I love this Type 7. I can't wait till I get the Type
Fuck,
9. Oh my god.
bro. Oh damn, I get so sick of it not doing the fucking landing gear and then boosting me in the fucking goddamn dock.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Well, I don't have that problem because I have a docking computer.
Fuck the docking computer. It needs to register my buttons right.
Yeah, well, I found like this spaceship is like it functions similar to an actual spaceship. Like it sometimes has power surges, you know. It sometimes like it's like an actual spaceship. Like sometimes things fall apart and stuff, and you know,
Fuck that.
I yeah.
The landing gear not working should never boost your fucking ship.
Well, yeah, you probably hit the circle before down a little too soon, or whatever. I don't. Yeah.
I didn't even get a fine or anything.
Yeah, because I'm
I
sure
hit
you're
the
not the
walls hard
first
as shit.
person to completely, eat shit on a landing when they're trying to dock. They find everybody who did it. Well, they'd be
Frameshift
stupidly
drive
rich.
charging.
They find me before for it.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm sure it had
Not
the
very much, but
All clear.
yeah, they find it like $100 or whatever. But yeah, I think it has to do with like the velocity and the impact and what you're hitting and
13 mil.
I think I got 14 now.
I think I might do a couple Dark Souls invasions and then grab a snack.
Frameshift drive charging.
But yeah, granted I got like 14 mil, but I also have a fully decked out Crate Mark II and a fully decked out Type 7 transporter. So I got like
25 mil. 30 mil.
no, I got like over 100 mil in ship assets alone,
Yeah.
I would say. I can look it up. There's a way I can look it up.
Fuel scooping.
Codex.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Stats. Balance. Yeah, I got 183 million in current assets.
Damn.
So like
You're not messing around, are you?
I'm not broke. Like I got a Crate Mark II and a Type 7 and 14 million in the bank. Which is enough for rebuy to lose both of those ships, you know, and still be able to buy them both back. So like I'm pretty settled. I'm just grinding my way to better ships at this point. I mean, I'm not going to get rid of that Crate Mark II because it's probably the best medium ship in the game.
Is there a ship you could get where I'd be able to like fly my ship into?
Fleet carriers. But that's a 14 million buy-in. 14 billion.
Oh shit, really? Players have them though, right?
Shitload of players have them. Yeah. That's the thing is
Jeez,
like
14
here's the thing
billion?
yeah, I'm doing a Cobalt run to uh what you call it? Um to Bates and whatnot. And like yeah, doing those Cobalt runs between Grave and Bates, I can make an easy 4 mil on a like going to Grave, go to Bates and go back to Grave. By the time I get back, easy 4.5 mil in my pocket each time, each cycle. Um, but like that's great now. But like once I get like that Type 9 heavy, and I can actually like do mining and store up on mining and all that other stuff. Well, actually, the mining would be more time consuming. Better rewards, but it's incredibly time consuming. But if I was doing the same shipments of like Cobalt between um, Grabe and Bates with the Type 9, like okay, I'm making like 4 million now, but I'd be making like 8-9 million then. Maybe even more. Actually, I think I'd be making closer to 10 billion with as much cargo space as that thing can carry. That's why it's the perfect mining vessel too, because it has a lot of slots that you can put in a lot of good mining equipment and do really efficient mining with it. and still have like a fuckload of cargo space to be out in the mining fields for hours, collecting, 100 units of void opals to sell for, you know, 100 million or so. That's the thing. You gotta grind, get that early grind until you get the better ships, and then once you get the better ships that can actually do the really cool shit, then you can make in the big bucks. And then, but yeah, a lot of players get the. There's a lot of players with fleet carriers. It's 14 billion for the first year buy-in, and then 7 billion after that as upkeep every year to keep the ship. Otherwise they revoke your ship because the ships are permanently in game. Like the player doesn't even have to play the thing. The ship will exist in whatever star system they're in, and me as a player, I can go to their ship. I can use their commodities market. I can get missions from them if they have any available. I can, it's like going to a space station. It's all the same services and whatnot, as long as they got all the right modules, and whatnot in their fleet carriers. Because the fleet carriers are just like the ships. They have different modules and serve different purposes, and you can do different. You can have different commodities markets that produce different things, and you can have different groups and whatnot that provide different missions. There's all sorts of shit with the fleet carriers. That's the fleet carriers are the end game.
Right.
So, but yeah, because once you get that point to that fleet carrier, you basically are a space station. You know, you can sit in your star system and be that permanent fixture. Um, you can go and leave the bubble and be that space station out in the middle of nowhere for every other traveler. You know, so that there's something that people can stop at and refuel out in the void. Um, you can you can use your space station as you can use your fleet carrier as the center of your battle fleet, and you can charge into battle with it and everybody else that you're playing with, and your own ship. You know, you can do anything with a fleet carrier that you can do with a regular ship, more or less, to an extent. Those things are great too because they could jump like 500 light years at a single go. Thing is though is that it takes damage when it does, so like you have to stop and repair your fleet carrier every time you jump. But yeah, you could jump it all the way to Colonia if you want.
Dark Souls is really popping right now.
Yeah, Elite Dangerous kind of took over my YouTube channel this week.
Well, people seem to be enjoying watching it.
Yeah.
No complaints there.
But yeah, I should kind of try to get back to my regular schedule. I gotta remodify my
Whenever you
schedule
start
though.
playing, oh my god, come on.
I think I'm
Whenever you're
gonna.
playing different games, you'll have to let me know when you get on the lead. That way I can get on then.
But yeah, let's see. I gotta. I mean, I'll play whatever. I mean, I don't even care to really stick to the schedule. I just did it to do because just to try and add some variety and something to my channel a bit. But like, if the viewership demands that I become an Elite Dangerous channel, I don't mind that. I can play everything else in my meantime. I don't have to talk about the news or do reviews on shows or movies or other games. I don't have to try and play retro games to, you know, introduce people who may not be familiar with them to them. I don't have to do any of that shit. I could
Right.
be an Elite Dangerous pilot.
You already are one, man.
I know. This
I
like
know.
it's very grindy, and especially like doing the transport missions going back and forth. It's like, okay, I'm at Bates. I got my shit. Going back to Grabe. Okay, I got my shit. Going back to Bates. Uh, like it is, but at the same time, there's something very relaxing and
Peaceful.
yeah,
Yeah.
like there's an
Plus, you're
addictive.
starting to get to the threshold where you're gonna be able to do like different things and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's the other thing. Like I'm quickly approaching that threshold because like, oh, I'm gonna so turn in this Type 7 for that Type 9, and then I'm still gonna have to do a lot of shit
The
to.
more you make, the faster you can make stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, the more, yeah. You make a shitload of money, and then you upgrade to that next level of ships, and then you make even shitloads more money than you were making before. So you can get to the next level of ships. That's why you're always like trying to, you know. That's why like storing some ships are great. Like storing like a Cobra Mark III or storing a Sidewinder you got decked out so that you can afford to lose a ship in case you're doing something stupid or experimenting or whatever. That's why like having like I got my crate, but I also got my transport ship so I can rake in like shitloads of money when I don't want to have fun uh hunting down uh bounties. Different ships have different purposes. Like you kind of have to have your own little personal fleet.
Unless you get in like a squadron or something like together. I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be cool if you could have like a squadron where people like all contribute and you had like some pirates, some miners, things like that, some transporters all
Well,
working together.
that's essentially what squadrons are. It's like a guild in MMOs. Like that's fundamentally what the idea behind them is. And the thing with fleet carriers and whatnot, like if you got a fleet carrier, you can function as like a vault for a squadron. So like you and all your buddies have like the one centralized place where they can store all their ships at, you know?
That's badass.
See, what I would really love to do, and it'd be so cool if I could get like a whole bunch of people to be like super into it. But you know how like the fuel rats, right, are with their whole little setup, right?
Yeah.
Is if you run out of gas, you go online, to the Fuel Rats website, input your info, and then they will arrange to get you gas in time before you run out of oxygen or die. Um, that way you don't have to lose your rebuy. um, I was thinking of like that, like that kind of like its own little like group system volunteer thingamajigger, right? But instead of like we'll go, the being like the fuel rats where they'll just go and fuel you up. We fight your enemies for you. So like it's like a combat squadron.
For a price.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a combat squadron that you can call in. No, not even for a price. Just for the fun of killing your enemies for you. Like this fuel rats don't charge shit. Why would we charge shit? We're
Oh.
like fuel rats make shitloads of money on just like the cartographics on the way to whatever destination they have to do to get whatever. That's where they make their money. That's how they get paid in the back end. Like what a fighter squadron group would get money wise on the back end would be bounties. We would be collecting like bounty rewards for killing everybody's enemies for them. But like, yeah, it'd be I mean, I don't know how we would arrange it. We could take like shift transfers and whatnot. Like people could transfer to our ships like gold, palladium, silver, cobalt. I mean, we could probably take money in that regard. But that's the thing. Like after I get a fleet carrier, I want to be like that fleet carrier group that will like charge into battle every fucking time with like the fleet carrier and all the ships. Like where like it's like an armada that will just conquer the galaxy for you. I don't know how it would work. But I just want to do big epic space battles, you know?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
It would be kind
Star
of
Wars.
ridiculous though, like somebody has to go after like a single solitary pirate that's just out in one system and they like call in the fleet. All of a sudden the pilot's out there, he's all by himself. And then out of nowhere a fleet carrier and like 20 ships show up. Like what?
Just come out of the warp.
Yeah, they just come out of
Soup,
warp. You
soup.
ever seen one of them big ships come out of warp though?
I
It's
haven't
not like
seen a
how
big
we come out
ship.
of warp. Yeah, we just zip right in there and it's we just zip in and then we're boom, we pop right into the system. But no, like there's a like those ships, they open up like a hole in space and they fly through that. So like you'll see like this cloud and like this like kind of storm stuff and like this rift open and then you see the ship just slowly come in. And if it's like a capital ship, if it's any of the capital ships or whatever, and like if it's going into a combat zone, it will as it's slowly coming in. As soon as it comes in and those first guns are through the whatever, um, they will start shooting, and so like this thing will just come in and just start opening fire on everything. It's fucking gorgeous. But yeah, they do not warp the same way that we do. That's why they can
Oh, that
warp
shit
like
was more like in the movies where they just like appear, like they're just like, choo, just like.
well,
I
that's
forget what
essentially
movie I
like
was
what we do.
watching where it was like that.
That's
Oh
what our ships do. The big ships though, they like tear holes in space and travel through like alternate dimensions to get to their destination. That's why they can travel like 500 light years in a go, and the best that we can do is like 50 tops with Guardian jump drives. Yeah, they do not have the same engines we do. They do not the big ships, and it has to do with like their mass and everything. I think too. That's why they're able to do that, and we're not. Because those we weigh hundreds of tons. They weigh billions of tons. Like those ships are like, I mean, like a capital ship is like taking like all of Manhattan. Like they're huge, but they're also like they're incredibly populated and they got guns fucking everywhere, and it's like you're launching an entire city in space. So like they got
Right.
they got billions of billions of tons. They it's they they weigh more than moons and asteroids. Like when something's that big, it can fold space and shit, better than we can. So I guess the technology that's in those ships utilizes that to their advantage, and thus they can tear holes in space and do their jumps uh, longer because they have more mass to work with. That's how I would guess the science would be behind it.
A regular Einstein.
Well, this game does try to actually follow, I mean, it takes a lot of artistic direction. Like, if this game was actually, like, realistic, um, with its, depiction of hyperspace, like, we wouldn't see, like, all the different stars flying past us, and we wouldn't see all the, uh, all the gases and space and everything as we're zooming on by. We wouldn't see the star as we're coming towards it slowly, um, uh, as we're slowly approaching it. We would see nothing but well, just red and blue, depending on what direction we're going in and whatnot. Um, but it would just be blinding red and blue light and white light. That's all we would see, jumping at faster than the speed of light. Primarily red and blue, depending on like what we were doing. Like if we're jumping towards a star, um, let's see. I'm trying to think how that would work. Red shift is you're pulling away. Yeah, it would blue shift. So like as we're heading, as we're leaving our star, everything would be a blinding red light. But as we're approaching the other star, it would shift from red to a blinding blue light as we're blue shifting towards the other star. Or it's the other way around because we're pulling away. Oh shit, I can't remember the fuck how it goes. We'd be pulling away from the star. Fuck it. It'd be either a red or a blue blinding light. But we wouldn't see shit. We would just see a blinding light. That's basically the point I'm trying to get to. So they do take some artistic liberties to make all this space shit seems cool, but you turn off that flight assist. Yeah, you
That's
turn
what
off
ship
that
is
flight
for.
assist, and this is some of the most realistic
Speed restrictions
space.
are now lifted. Safe travels, Commander.
You know, shit. Yeah, I'm now like completely out of control because I don't know how to fly in space. But the fact that it's constantly, because like I'm messing with it right now, it's you got to constantly adjust for the momentum. Wow, there's no way to like really slow down. Yeah, you got to constantly like, cause like your momentum and everything. Like yeah, this is realistic space flying. Like it's how the physics of it works and everything. Like they took the time with this game to truly
Flight assist on.
like yeah, they got some artistic liberties, but no, their science is pretty on the nose. I guess that's why I like the game so much. And like when the game originally released, I had heard about it like years ago and whatnot. I just never got around to getting it until recently. But the thing that initially intrigued me about the game when they were like originally developing it was the fact that like it's a two scale model of the Milky Way, but like they're constantly updating the information. So like the more the more we learn about like the more shit that we discover out there and whatnot, the more data gets input to the game. Which is just neat. So it's like you can you can read about a new discovery like in like on Google News or whatever. Like they found some one whatever planet out there, and you know it's they somebody wrote an article on it. You can read that article, and within like a week or so, whatever the because they update every Thursday, chances are by that Friday or the following Friday, usually like within a few weeks or so, you can go to that place and find like whatever they apparently discovered and shit because they're constantly updating this game with real world information.
Yeah. Kind of like there's another game like that.
But like, like like, if you ever wanted to be like an astronaut as a kid or whatever, it's like if you ever wanted to do stuff in space, like this is like the one chance to like realistically do that shit. It's like you can
Right.
go to one of the moons of Saturn and you can see Saturn rise over the horizon. I would never in my lifetime be able to go on a spaceship and go and see that. Like that's just not an opportunity I have in my life. But I can do that in this game, and it's as realistic to what it would be as possible. That's fucking awesome. That's amazeballs. Like this is one of the greatest games I've ever played. Ah, like it can really. I mean, this game really is just it's in its own league. It does its own thing. It's what I like about it is that you you make it you can make out of it what you want out of it. You know,
Right.
like if
Because
you
there's
just
so
want
much to
to,
do.
yeah, well, if you just want to be a space trucker and like you just want a good flight sim, space trucking sim, you could just go from back and forth between systems, delivering cargo and evading pirates and you know, and whatnot. If you want to do like the whole, space cop thing and space combat and you know, you can go and hunt down bounties and and shoot up pirates and defend miners and do mercenary work. You know, if you want to affect the main storyline and try to conquer the galaxy, you can do that too. There's a myriad you can make out of it what you want. Like, well, I mean, if you want to get like, fly around with your buddies and like aggro other players, you can do that too.
We did that with NPCs.
Yeah, you can do that with NPCs. Yeah. This is Elite Dangerous. There is nothing wrong with ganking. Other games might shy on you about, I mean, there's some really sneaky players out there too, because like there's some ships that you can like well you can run silent, but there's some ships with like really low heat profiles, that you can make even lower, especially if you do like a bunch of engineering and shit. So you can make some ships kind of invisible almost. And yeah, there's some griefing players out there who really know how to grief in this game. Shit. Getting interdicted. Come on. This dude isn't even trying. Come on. There we go. Pull me back around. Yeah, I'm kind of eager to get rid of this Type 7 though. It's fun, but I really want that Type 9. It's such a massive ship. What I really want is that Type 10 Defender. That thing's a tank. All them guns on it. I'd stick some shitload of turrets on there, a bunch of hull reinforcements, you know, cell bank. That thing would be untouchable. I wish Grape wasn't orbiting its planet so closely, because sometimes it takes a
You
long
said
ass
what? I
time.
can get you.
I was saying that I
Grape.
hope that I wish Grape wasn't orbiting its planet so closely,
Why?
because well, sometimes it takes a real long ass time to get to Grape,
Oh yeah.
because it's so close to its planet. Like you get caught in that gravity well sometimes that it slows the shit out of you. I mean, half the time you can get to Grape Dock quick and easy, but the other half of the time the planet's either in the way or too close.
Recon Lima Alpha Sierra. Please approach the station at a safe speed and be mindful of other pilots in the area. Access granted. Set down on landing pad 3-2. Automated docking approved. You may now hand over control.
There's some good players on right now.
Oh, Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my ambivalence of getting back into those games is that, like, I already have, like, played the shit out of them. You
I'll
know,
do it.
like Dark Souls 1. I think Dark Souls 1 I've beaten the most. Well, yeah. I think I've beaten that 4 times. Yeah.
I've played it a lot, but I didn't start playing Dark Souls or games like this till after Dark Souls 3 was already out.
Contact clear to disembark.
Um,
Welcome to our starport.
I started with Demon Souls. I had Demon Souls on the PS3. and I got it for free through PlayStation Plus 1 month, and so I downloaded and played it. Loved it right away. I was like, oh, it's Zelda for adults. I get this. This is awesome. You know, it had the it, but it, well, it in Dark Souls, like it has the same like turtle behind the shield, wait for the enemy tell, and then strike at the moment time. Like that's Zelda's combat from like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess and all of them. It's the exact same combat system. So like I was totally hooked on it. And then I'm like reading stuff online about it, like, oh, it's one of the hardest games ever, and it's like, why are people having trouble with this again? Like it's a little brutal, but you know, you just gotta not be an idiot about it. Let's see. Oh yeah, no
Yeah, I
mission
was
board.
dumb. I never played a game like this when I came to it.
Yeah, yeah, I played Demon Souls, and then like I didn't touch I didn't touch Dark Souls, but I did get Dark Souls. I also got Bloodborne and Sekiro. I like FromSoft's games. I used to play like Armored Core back in the day.
Yeah, they made that.
They what you call it? Another FromSoft game. They it was a PS2 series called trying to think. Echo Knight. The Echo Knight
They did
series.
Eternal Ring.
Echo Knight 2 Beyond takes place on the moon, and it's one of the scariest goddamn games ever made. Echo Knight 1 kind of it sucks and it's a little bit hokey, but Echo Knight 2, FromSoft really perfected the shit out of their horror model at that point. FromSoft's made a lot of, you know, good games over the years. Cause like
Oh yeah.
the first FromSoft game I ever played was Kingsfield on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, well, it's Kingsfield was Dark Souls, but it's like a first-person shooter um on the PlayStation, so it had like PlayStation 1 graphics and environments and stuff. But it was like a fully 3D um first-person shooter RPG, and it was like Dark Souls hard. It was very Dark Soulsy. Oh yeah, I gotta do my navigation. In fact, Miyazaki, the guy who does the director of Dark Souls, he was a huge fan of Kingsfield back in the day,
Yeah.
and that was one of his inspirations for the series. Well, that and Berserk. What the fuck? No, Bates.
You have cleared the no-fire zone. Flight control signing off.
But yeah, I fell in love with that series right off the bat.
Remember they gave it out free on Xbox, and I played it. Like, I didn't even get to like Undead, Irish. Like, what the fuck? This shit's so weird, and like it was so different from anything I played. And I probably tried playing it for like 20 minutes. And like, fuck this game. And then like a year or two later, I went back because my friend was really into it. And I fell in love with it.
Yeah, I would say that was kind of my first experience with Demon Souls. Like the first time I played it, I was like, "What the fuck?" like, 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 I was not expecting the game to be like Ninja Gaiden hard, and it is very Ninja Gaiden hard. But it there's a flow and rhythm to it that you kind of got to get a feel for. And I feel like if you're going at the series solo for the first time and you know nothing of it, yeah, it could be a little bit daunting. But like, if you got friends that are already into it, it's it's much more appealing to like be able to like group the game a little bit and you know ease people into it.
Right. Explain items and
Yeah, and how to set up, you know, your characters and
Frameshift
how to
quick
how to
charging.
parry.
mm,
Dude, it wasn't until I played Bloodborne that I finally learned how to parry. I could never parry in Dark Souls until I played Bloodborne. Bloodborne taught me how to parry. And then I go back to Dark Souls and I am a parry fucking god.
we shall see.
But I mean like I played Demon Souls and Dark Souls 2 and you know, I played like those games to all hell.
Fuel
And then
scan.
eventually I get Demon Souls and
Fuel
it's
tank
like,
replenished.
Demon
oh,
Souls isn't very
that's
long, is it?
it can
Frameshift
be.
quick
There's a lot
charging.
in it, but like if you're just running through and slaying bosses and trying to make it to the end, nah, you could actually tear through that game somewhat quickly. Like for me, like trying to go through and like just doing like a casual gameplay where it's like you're trying to get all the NPCs, so you have all the shops and everything, um, and you're going through and you're killing all the bosses and whatnot, and you're trying to make your way through the end. You could probably get through the game in about 30 hours to more or less 100% it as best as you can without doing too much grinding or trying to work about the ridiculous world tendency shit and find all the world tendency items and shit. I never really bothered with that, and I was able to get through the game in about 30 hours and killing all the bosses and collecting most of the items that I could find while still going back to the Nexus all the time and upgrading and everything else. Yeah, it took about 30 hours. Dark Souls 1 isn't that particularly long of a game either. It's I'd say it's a bit bigger than Demon Souls though. Demon Souls is a lot more linear and straightforward than Dark Souls is. Dark Souls is open world, whereas like Demon Souls, you're in this nexus and then you select these locations and then you more or less just go on a forward path in a until you eventually
Yeah.
reach the final area and the final boss of the entire region and do what you were supposed to accomplish in that area. It's just a series of multiple boss battles along the way as you explore different regions within said area. But it's a more or less linear path. Really though, Dark Souls 1 is the only true open world um version of the entire series that I would say. Because like the rest of them, sure, there's a lot of branches and whatnot. Like Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne is guilty of this.
Greetings,
There's a
Commander.
lot of
Please
branches.
approach the station at a safe speed and be mindful of other pilots in the
But
area.
there's like a main path forward.
Mission authorized. Set down on
Um,
landing pad 2-5. Automated
Bloodborne, not so much. Um, Dark Souls 2, you have the central hub, and then you have multiple branches that they all go like in one direction, or they loop around into each other in some cases. But Dark Souls 3, you have like the one main path with a bunch of branches, and then it forces you to go back to the original path and go the other direction, and there's hardly any branches that way. It's just a linear path to the end, basically. Whereas like the original Dark Souls was really the only true open world one, I would say. Everything's all interconnected, and like, it's there's a lot of loops.
Yeah. Definitely the best map ever made.
Yeah.
Dispatching ground.
And what's great is like the map it's so like it's so it's so interconnected, but it's like unlike in Dark Souls 2, where there's a lot of like visual fuck ups in the map transitions. Um, like everything is in relation to one another. Like so, like when you're transitioning from like you're going from like Firelink Shrine, you go from like Firelink Shrine, you take the elevator down, you go into the New Londo or whatever, and then you go out to the Dragon's Eyrie, go through the cave there, down into the swamps, and then you can make your way to the Irithyll, the Fire Realm or whatever, right? Like
Yeah.
you can visually see all that stuff, and you can um as you're like as you're transitioning in every area, the environment, you can see everywhere everything is in relation to each other. Like when you're at Firelink, you can look down and see the swamp down there and where you need to go. And the path moves in that transition and follows well with it. Like it's um like you I never feel lost in Dark Souls. I never get lost because I always
Yeah.
know where I'm at and where everything is in relation to each other, and like where all the paths and shortcuts are and shit. Oh, we don't need to go this way. Let's go back this way. Take this elevator here because that's a shorter way. That kind of thing.
I used to feel lost all the time in that fucking game.
But yeah, they definitely had the best map in that game. Like one had the best map, two had the best combat system, and three had the prettiest graphics. I don't know. Three was fun, but by the time you get to three, it's like it's just more of the same. Like I don't know what to say other than like, hey, their graphics were great, and it's nice to see characters who actually like move lips and shit. Oh, what do I gotta get here? What do I gotta take back to from Bates to Grabe? What was it? It was performance enhancers, or let's see. I am in let's see. Consumer technology. That's what I need to take back. I did have a lot of fun with 3 though. What's the consumer technology?
Yeah, I thought the story was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, the story was good. I like that it was a nice little wrap up to the series. I like how the game ends. Like it doesn't even matter like what option you go with. It's the Age of Dark. Dark Souls is over. The Age of Light's dead. Doesn't matter what you do, the Age of Light dies. That's fucking great. I like how it was Miyazaki's way of saying, like, I'm not making any more of these. Stop asking me. The Age of Light is dead.
Dark Souls 4.
Well, I think that's
Mm,
what
Dark
Elden Ring
Souls
is
4.
kind of gonna be like. It's a
I'm
online
hoping
MMO,
Elden Ring is good.
huh?
But I'm hoping Elden Ring is good.
Well, yeah. What I'm thinking is like it's. I don't know if it's. I doubt it's gonna tie into Dark Souls, but um. But yeah, it's just gonna be an online MMO. Dark Souls basically. I don't know how that's gonna work. All right, come on, go back to Grabe. Yeah, I hope Elden Ring is good too, but I don't know.
Frameshift drive charging.
I had said for years that I hope and dream that one day they take Fallout and they turn it into an online MMO, because that would just be a genius and amazing and just perfect game. And yeah, they eventually did do that, and we all know how that turned out. I saw that dumpster
W6.
fire coming from a mile away. I'm like, wait a second, you guys are coming out with an online Fallout game, and you're doing it in half the development cycle that you did for Fallout 4? What? Yeah, that's not gonna work. I knew that shit was gonna be delivered broken. I knew it.
Fuel scooping complete.
All my friends were like pre-ordering Fallout. Oh, it's gonna be Fallout 4, but like online, we're gonna all play together. It's gonna be great. Blah blah blah. It's like, nope, no, that shit ain't gonna work, guys. How much you want to bet? Oh man,
Frameshift drive
fucking
charging.
Bethesda. Ah shit. Come on, get me out of here.
Ready to engage.
Come on, get me out. Get me out. I'm almost there. I'm taking heat. Oh well. I'm not in the critical, it's alright. Mild heat damage. I doubt I'll even take any.
Temperature critical.
But yeah, I'd definitely say that Dark Souls is one of my all-time favorite series. I'd put them up there with Metal Gear.
Yeah, I missed the old Metal Gear games. Those were fun.
That's another series I played the shit out of.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, I remember when Metal Gear Solid came out on the PlayStation. Like, it was such a drastically different game than what, like, me and all my friends at the time were, like, used to. You know, before like Metal Gear and like Resident Evil, games were pretty much very straightforward and whatnot.
Pyro.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. Pyro.
Yeah, game what? Like
Games like
Spyro?
Spyro and
Yeah,
shit.
games were like Spyro and like very, very much like that.
Attention, drive charging.
You know, very reminiscent of like the, you know, platformers of old, like Mario and Sonic and shit. You know, games were always like that for the most part. But then came like Resident Evil and Metal Gear. Completely changed like how you play a game and how you approach, you know, how to play a game and whatnot. Like, oh, that PlayStation era was freaking mind blowing. Like none of my friends could figure out how to like really do Metal Gear. They would really, like eventually my friends figured out like how to sneak because we like all play that demo before the game came out. Um and it's like, you know, the opening area of the first Metal Gear game, you're trying to go. Shit, I got interdicted again. You're trying to go and uh you got to sneak into the elevator in the back of the room, and like, you know, my friends would like try to like fight all the enemies and get killed right away. You know, eventually they figured out like how to sneak back there, but like I was the one who taught them how to like how to he had to sneak up behind the enemies, and then you choked them out and killed them, and then you get an extra item or two, and then, you know, you wait for the guy to come down the elevator, and you choke him out.
And
Like
drag
it.
their bodies and hide them in a locker.
Oh, that was Metal Gear 2. Solid. The bodies would just disappear, and they would drop an item. But yeah, it. Oh, come on! Don't do that. There we go. But yeah, yeah, that series really did kind of change. Like, and like, the thing about Metal Gear was like it blew my mind when it came out. Like, like the story and everything enthralled me. You know, I would like, you know, I enjoyed listening to the codec messages and seeing, like, watching all the cutscenes and stuff, you know? And so, like, it's kind of crazy how, like, so much of modern gaming today is built on, like, what Metal Gear did back then. Because, like, there wasn't really games that were offering, like, that Hollywood kind of quality of cutscenes at that time. Sure, there was, like, Grand Theft Auto. No, not. That was PlayStation 1. Yeah, I mean, Resident Evil had really bad voiceovers and shit. Um, Grand Theft Auto 3 wouldn't be out for several more years. There, you know, like, Metal Gear was the game at the time. That, I mean, yeah, sure, like, Spyro had cutscenes and you know, and a lot of other games had, like, you know, these cutscenes and whatnot with great voice acting. But like, Metal Gear was like a you know, a cinematic experience almost. Like you're sitting there watching like a Hollywood film.
Right.
Yeah, sure, the graphics were shit, but the dialogue was amazing.
Lincoln, Lima Alpha Sierra.
Yeah.
And I kind of
Please
miss
prepare
those
to
old
land and granting your
GTA
arrival command. Welcome to our station.
Sons of Liberty,
Access granted. Set down on landing pad
Vice
3.
City, Opals.
Automated docking approved. You may now handle the control.
Was there multiplayer on Vice City?
No. There's multiplayer on GTA 5, which I also have, and I've been trying to get through the main story of. I recently got that on sale. I barely played any of the online of it. I don't see a point to doing the online, like, unless like, I don't know. I just want to see what the point of GTA Online would be.
Landing gear deployed.
D5 online's alright. Yo, I think I'm about to join this party for a minute. My comp dog soul is in, and I go make some dinner here pretty soon.
Cool.
And I'll
Contact.
probably get
Dispatching
back
ground
on.
crew.
Probably get on at
Report
8.
to station
Send me an
services
invite
for more
or join the
information,
party.
Commander.
Yep.
You gonna be on tonight?
Yeah, I'll probably be here.
Alright. Cool, I'll be back in probably like an hour or two. Probably about 2 hours or so.
Cool. I'm gonna finish up these missions and.
Alright, bro.
Yep. I'll see you.
Don't get shot down.
Yeah. Well, I got like
Alright, talk to you
15
soon.
million right now, so I'm pretty good.
Yeah. I'll catch up. Don't worry. Alright,
Uh,
I'll hit you up.
all right. Later, man.
Alright.
Yes. Give me my 2.8 mil. All right. Ally. Let's see. Anything other? Oh, I got the wine and the coltan. Oh yeah. Commodities market. Sell. Money, money, money. Alright, now what do I got? Wine, coltan, and advanced catalyzers. Alright, so gotta look up the info for that. Wine, probably. Let's go with wine. Back. Back. Nope. Come on. Commodities. I am looking for wine. Which should be all the way down the list. Alright, so wine. I am currently in the Quappa system. Yep. Include planetary. Include fleet carriers. Yeah, sure, I'll go to them if they're selling any. I doubt there's any in the area though. Large landing pad. And I am buying. What do I got? Closest station. Yep, Gordon Terminal. Alright, so what is Gordon buying? Let's see, current system. Quappa, destination system, Gordon. That's in TLC. No, Gordon Terminal. What do we got? Bio waste. 515 in profit at bio waste. Load up on that and then make my way to the TLC system.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Alright, Gordon.
Landing gear retracted.
Landing coupler disengaged. Departure authorized.
Sweet. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm meaning to catch up on Galnet.
Trial of Fleet Admiral Vincent begins. The Federal High Court on Mars has opened the trial of Fleet Admiral Lucas Vincent, who is
Alright, I'll be
301,
right back.
resulting in hundreds of deaths. The Federal Times' crime correspondent Ethan Takahashi reported, the trial began with the prosecution counsel outlining the case. Material evidence obtained from Chief Technician Rory Webster, whose testimony led to Vincent's arrest, was presented before the jury. Vincent was questioned about a secure transmission from his office to the presidential vessel on the 24th of May 3301, ordering an unscheduled diversion to the Azalic system for routine maintenance. This is where Webster's engineering team followed Vincent's orders to install the sabotaged hyperdrive component that caused the misjump. Evading the questions, Vincent claimed that the entire trial was a Liberal Party cover-up and that Starship One was destroyed to put Winters in charge. With the loss of President Halsey and Vice President Naylor, Felicia Winters did indeed assume the role of acting president and became leader of the Liberal Party. However, the defense counsel played down these accusations, instead declaring that Webster's recordings of Vincent's orders could have been falsified. Jasmina Halsey provides testimony about Starship One. Former President Jasmina Halsey has taken the witness stand during the trial of Fleet Admiral Lucas Vincent at the Federal High Court. Crime correspondent Ethan Takahashi reported the details for the Federal Times. Jasmina Halsey confirmed that the orders for Starship One's unscheduled stopover in the Azalic system came directly from Fleet Admiral Vincent. She added that the presidential itinerary was often altered for various mundane reasons, and at the time this seemed routine. Halsey also provided an account of the vessel's destruction, describing the chaos and panic on board as the hyperspace misjump caused rapid structural disintegration. She praised her security detail for getting her into a cryogenic stasis pod and launching it moments before Starship One exploded. During cross-examination, the defense counsel quoted her reported visions after being rescued, when Halsey described meeting the caretakers of our galaxy and experiencing the infinities of the cosmos. It was suggested that the testimony of someone suffering from such obvious delusions should be discounted. Halsey admitted that she no longer has any memory of making those statements and may have been suffering from post-traumatic shock. She then provided the court with psychological reports and neural scans from the Alliance's finest doctors, medically confirming that she is of sound state of mind. Sirius Corporation secures hosting of Galactic Summit. Pilots Federation alert. Sirius Corporation has received more data than Utopia and will therefore host the Galactic Summit. Both organizations propose to organize a diplomatic conference for the Alliance, Empire, and Federation.
Frameshift drive charging.
Slowing down the ship. There we go.
Lagos Lima, Alpha Sierra. Welcome to this independent station, Commander. Please fly safely during arrival and departure. Permission authorized. Set down on landing pad 40. You are clear for automated approach, Commander.
Oh, these not. Listen to that one. Yeah. Oh, no. Come on.
Anonymous
Whatever.
source refers to distress call location. Pilots Federation alert. An encrypted message seems to provide planetary coordinates related to the mysterious signal from Serene Harbor. The message received by the pilot Harbor, 56.4 latitude,
Landing gear deployed.
minus 8.3 longitude, Theta 7. Although this pinpoints a geographical area on a planetary surface, the astronomical location of this body remains a mystery. It is unclear whether Theta 7 refers to additional map coordinates of some kind, or is a code phrase intended for unknown recipients. Little is known about
Landing complete. Commence system shutdown.
the original distress call, other than its brief content. This is an emergency broadcast on all frequencies from Serene Harbor. We are. Halsey suggests motivation for assassination attempt. At the trial of Fleet Admiral Vincent, former President Jasmina Halsey has revealed possible reasons behind the sabotage of Starship One in 3301. Crime correspondent Ethan Takahashi reported from the Federal High Court. Jasmina Halsey provided details of a top-level federal cabinet meeting in late April 3301, an event which was never declassified. Its aim was to address the high levels of public dissatisfaction with her administration. At the meeting, Halsey explained that she had been inspired by various peace activists to
Right, what am I
refocus on
taking
the
back?
well-being of citizens. She planned to reduce taxes, invest in social infrastructure and slash federal Navy spending.
Tobacco.
As yet this was only a preliminary plan, to be implemented later that year. Halsey told the court that only a dozen
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
officials were present at this meeting, including Fleet Admiral Vincent. All were told that this forthcoming sea change in policy was confidential, but to expect major budget changes in the coming months. The prosecution counsel stated that Vincent was therefore aware that naval defunding was imminent, something which would reduce his personal influence.
Landing gear retracted.
It would also impact powerful individuals who Vincent was illegally connected to, evidence of which would be presented in due course. Alliance election delayed due to Galactic Summit. The Alliance Assembly has agreed to delay electing a new Prime Minister to avoid clashing with the forthcoming Galactic Summit. The proposal to postpone the election date came from Prime Minister Edmund Mahone. Now that the diplomatic conference has been confirmed, we must adapt to take advantage of this historic event. A potential change in leadership occurring at the same time as the Galactic Summit would cause confusion and undermine the Alliance's presence.
That makes no
Although
sense,
Mahone's
Mahone.
proposal was voted through by a narrow margin, many council members disagreed with altering the political calendar. Councillor Nakato Kane, who is a candidate in the election, declared, "It is outrageous that the Prime Minister is using this as an excuse to extend his term in office. Once again, he is more concerned with projecting the Alliance as a superpower than the
Frameshift drive charging.
interests of member systems. This behavior is what you'd expect from a corrupt emperor or president."
Speed restrictions are now lifted. Have a safe trip, Commander.
Under power and any cost. The Assembly has rescheduled the election to take place 3 months later in May 3307, although this remains only provisional.
Yeah, Mahone's nuts for that.
Fuel scoping.
Like, the Federation and the Empire both understand what democratic elections are. What
Fuel
what
scoping
what would,
complete.
what would be the confusion, Mahone? You power grubbing bastard. That's why I don't side with the Alliance. Oh wait, no, I'll wait till I get to Quapo.
Frameshift drive charging. Objective detected.
There we go.
Sirius Corporation secures hosting of Galactic Summit. Pilots
Oh
Federation
shit, I'm gonna
alert.
get it interdicted.
Sirius Corporation has received more data than Utopia and will therefore host the Galactic Summit. Both organizations propose to organize a diplomatic conference for the Alliance, Empire and Federation. After calling on the galactic community to gather data that would support security operations, many pilots handed in anomalous bulk scan data, atypical disrupted wake echoes, exceptional scrambled emission data and unusual encrypted files. All three superpower governments confirmed that due to its success in preparing effective security systems, they will accept Sirius Corporation as the neutral territory for the conference. CEO Li Yongrui made this announcement. Thank you to all the independent pilots who supported us. Sirius will now begin work preparing for the first Galactic Summit, which we hope will increase peace and prosperity.
Ah shit. I knew it. I called it. There we go. Yeah, get rid of that.
Prosperity across the galaxy. Pilots who delivered to Sirius Corporation can collect their rewards from Goldstein Port in the Lembava system. Simguru Pranav Antal expressed disappointment, but confirmed that all who contributed to Utopia's initiative will be rewarded at Tana settlement in the Palevnik system. Sirius Corporation has stated that the Galactic Summit is provisionally scheduled to take place over a 3-week period in late February and early March. Core Dynamics implicated in Starship One sabotage. Evidence presented at the trial of Fleet Admiral Vincent suggested financial links to Federal Shipbuilding Corporation Core Dynamics. This significant development was covered by Ethan Takahashi for the Federal Times. The initial investigations around Starship One's destruction in 3301 were outlined by the prosecution. When the Federal Attorney's Office revisited this historical data, traces were found of financial transfers routed through non-Federation banking systems. The FAO brought in the expertise of the Warglass Investigations Agency, which discovered that these transactions were made via shell companies created by Core Dynamics. Fleet Admiral Vincent, as well as several other naval officers, received billions of credits through these companies that went undeclared. Vincent refused to...
Lincoln Lima Alpha Sierra. We look forward to receiving your destination command. Please follow booking procedures and enjoy your visit.
supposed to auto
You
resume,
are
and
clear
it
for
doesn't.
automated approach, Commander.
They need to fix that.
Request for pilots to trace distress call. Pilots Federation alert. An independent vessel has detected a fragment of a mysterious message coming from an unexplored region of space. Commander Elsa Solomon was traveling through the SWAL's XXDC-130 system when her ship's communications array picked up a faint transmission. The message was as follows. This is an emergency broadcast on all frequencies from Serene Harbor. We are. The
Landing gear deployed.
transmission ended abruptly and did not resume. The signal did not contain any identification data or indications as to its origin. Commander Solomon gave more details to
Touchdown confirmed. Clear to disembark. Welcome, Commander.
Vox Galactica. The message appeared in my comms panels as text and an electronically generated voice. I wasn't able to determine a source, only that it was broadcast within 80 light years of that system. My schedule was tight, so I couldn't spend long tracking it. I have no idea if Serene Harbor is a starport, a settlement, or even a megaship, but this is obviously a Mayday signal. Someone somewhere is in serious trouble. I've asked the Pilots Federation to share the information in case any of my fellow commanders can help. To help triangulate the source, there is a call-out to any other ships that were in the area at the time, which may have received a similar broadcast. However, no responses have been received as yet. Core dynamics implicated in Starship One sabotage. Evidence presented at the trial of Fleet Admiral Vincent suggested
Hey, Alvin, how's it
financial
going?
links to Federal Shipbuilding Corporation core dynamics. This significant
What was that
development
Serene
was
Harbor?
covered by Ethan Takahashi for the Federal Times. The initial investigations
Was it a
around
prison?
Starship One's
What was
destruction
the
in
Empire doing there?
3301 were outlined by the prosecution. When the Federal Attorney's Office revisited this historical data,
Alright,
traces
what do
were
I
found
need?
of financial transfers routed through non-Federation banking systems. The FAO brought in the expertise of the War Glass
Coltan.
Investigations
Alright, let's look that
Agency,
up.
which discovered that these transactions were made via shell companies created by Core Dynamics. Fleet Admiral Vincent, as well as
Coltan,
several
come on.
other naval officers, received billions of credits through these companies that went undeclared. Vincent refused to answer any questions about this evidence, once again claiming that he is the victim of a conspiracy to hand the presidency to Felicia Winters.
Ain't no
Despite multiple
victim.
requests from the press, Core Dynamics has not made any public comment. There are unverified reports of large-scale activity taking place at some of the corporation's
Wrong
centers of
station.
operation.
It was empty.
Empire denies existence of secret prison. Pilots Federation alert. An Imperial Intelligence
Yeah,
detention
I think that's
facility
what they said in the
discovered
news
the
broadcast. It says
RCRA
empty now.
sector AFAD-42 system has been repudiated by the Empire.
Please,
The outpost,
868.
named Serene Harbor, was located after its distress call
Right.
was shared publicly by the
Destination
Pilots
system.
Federation.
Please, 868.
According to the Commander Andy X, who first
Yeah.
investigated the site, all its occupants were dead as the result of what appeared to be a prisoner breakout. Unlike the Imperial Internal Security Service, the Imperial Intelligence Organization has no spokespeople or public channels. However, Senator Carl
Alright, I
Nerva
am
told the
going
media,
to
they
Bronze
claim that
Station.
high-security prisoners and terrorists are being tortured for information in an
I need to
unregistered
take
outpost is
mineral
categorically false.
extractors.
There is no
with,
such
right?
place
Yeah.
as
Bronze
Serene
Station.
Harbor.
Yep, that's the one I
We
want.
believe that independent pilots
Or wait,
have been
there's also
duped by
Bacon
a federal
Port.
ploy to undermine the Empire,
What about
using
Bacon
fake
Port?
locations and logs for theatrical effect. I assure all citizens that Imperial
Bronze
Intelligence
Station it
operates
is.
fully within the law and
I get
remains
more money
vigilant
that way.
against all threats. When asked
Mineral
about Commandant
extractors.
Gabriel DeLuca, who was identified by surviving logs at the outpost, Senator Nerva replied, Captain DeLuca was indeed an agent of Imperial Intelligence, but died on active duty several years ago.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
I don't trust anything
Obvious
the
that this
Empire
respected
says.
hero's identity has been stolen to add credibility to anti-imperial disinformation. Engineers enhanced missile rack initiative. Pilots Federation alert. The engineer Liz Ryder has requested mined materials to
Alright.
help make a
Do I have bronze
previously unique
bookmarks?
ship module widely available.
Landing gear
I
retracted.
do not have bronze
The
bookmark.
module
Alright,
is a
so
fully
where's the
engineered lightweight
system?
and high-capacity
Delete
Class 2 Seeker
868.
missile rack with thermal cascade. It was offered in October 3306 to
Come on, dog.
pilots who helped defend the Eurybia system from Imperial forces. At the time, the Empire suspected Liz Ryder of supplying weapons to the NMLA terrorist group. Ms. Ryder has announced that her aim is to make this specially modified weapon available for purchase at all human technology brokers. She added, "Pilots can help kickstart this project by providing mined commodities, which will temporarily reduce the amount of materials that customers
There we
require
go.
to obtain the missile rack. As a bonus, the highest contributors to this initiative will be gifted with the module. I'm pleased to be working with tech brokers to add this to the market. Many engineers think we could do more to serve the galactic community, and this is a step in that direction. Shipments of bromelite, lithium hydroxide, osmium, and samarium can be delivered to a wire of Flurble in the Eurybia system."
It says there was a terrorist.
Jupiter Rochester named in Starship One trial. Core Dynamics CEO Jupiter Rochester has been accused of collaborating
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, the guy that they mentioned in the broadcast?
Starship One's destruction in
The old
3301. As reported
Imperial
by Ethan Takahashi for the Federal
Secret
Times,
Service,
financial
whatever,
data was presented
hero,
to the
whatever.
showing that Vincent, along with others in government and the Federal Navy,
Intelligence
received
agent
colossal
who bombed a
payments via
starport.
shell companies created by Jupiter Rochester's loyalists. The prosecution claimed that Rochester
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Gotta wait for them engines to cool down. I've been cooking my engines a little too much as of late. Oh yeah, I do remember hearing about like the efforts to deal with the broken ass starports.
Frameshift drive charging.
I do remember seeing a video on that. Alright, here we go. Good shit. Make 1,000 off of that. I don't know how I'm gonna get what I need to take back, but Baron Tridite. Yeah, Baron Tridite. I'll take that on the way back to Grabe. Fortunately, this is a pretty small system. Get me in there. Man, I hate how planets dick with that. Stop affecting my speed.
Lakon, Lima Alpha Sierra. Station services are prepped for your arrival. Greetings, Commander. Request approved. You are clear for approach to pad 2-5. Automated docking assist is now in progress.
Oh yeah, this douchebag.
Jupiter Rochester named in Starship One trial. Core Dynamics CEO Jupiter Rochester has been accused of collaborating
I
with
shot
Fleet
out more than a
Admiral
few of
Vincent
his
to
ships.
orchestrate Starship One's destruction in 3301.
They went down pretty easy.
As reported by Ethan Takahashi for the Federal Times, financial data was presented to the court showing that Vincent, along with others in government and the Federal Navy, received colossal payments via shell companies created by Jupiter Rochester's loyalists. The prosecution claimed that Rochester and Vincent were reacting to then-President Jasmina Halsey's intention to scale back military spending, which would impact Core Dynamics' profits. They
Landing gear deployed.
arranged to assassinate her and lay groundwork for Zachary Hudson to be voted into power, knowing that his policies would result in further naval contracts. The defense argued
Yeah,
that
I was there
Halsey's
with my
testimony
Crate
was
Mark II.
unreliable, and that the financial data was obtained via improper methods, so should have been inadmissible. It was also pointed out that the
I did get
Rochester family
shot
had
down
many
by a
enemies
clipper
to
out
turn
there.
Touchdown. Deploying ground services.
besmirch their reputation. The jury has now been sequestered to determine a verdict. This means they are unaware of media reports that several Core Dynamics departments, known collectively as Jupiter Division, are transporting ships and personnel to the HIP 54530 system. Other sources confirmed that the HIP 54530 Gold Universal Group has officially assumed the name Jupiter Division, suggesting that it was heavily infiltrated by Rochester's loyalists. The faction has retained control of the permit-locked HIP 54530 system. Fleet Admiral Vincent pronounced guilty.
Anything else?
A federal high court jury
No,
has
don't
found
try
Fleet
that.
Admiral Lucas Vincent guilty of conspiracy to commit murder and treason. The
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
court heard how Vincent worked with Core Dynamics CEO Jupiter Rochester to sabotage Starship One and assassinate then-President Jasmina Halsey in order to increase military contracts. The Federal Times' crime correspondent Ethan Takahashi observed,
Yeah, I
within
wish I
minutes
had
of
of that.
Vincent receiving a life sentence,
Landing gear retracted.
I'm slowly getting there though.
Federal
I'm happy with my
intelligence
Crate Mark
agency
II
teams
though.
arrested
It's a good
several
combat
co-conspirators
vehicle.
in the Federal Navy along with some government officials. Jupiter Rochester himself has evaded arrest by fleeing to the HIP 54530 system, where loyalists within Core Dynamics are establishing a breakaway faction
It's
named
expensive as
Jupiter
shit,
Division.
but it's a
Industry
good little
analysts believe
medium
that this
ship.
corporate split
It's
has
got a
long
fighter
been
bay.
planned, but is being
Turns on a
accelerated because of
dime.
the trial.
It's nice.
Rochester's responsibility for the Starship One tragedy raises many questions, especially for his powerful family. It will certainly fuel the conspiracy theory that he is a member of a covert group of powerful figures who manipulate events to benefit the military and industrial complex. However, a more plausible theory that Zachary Hudson was responsible now seems to have been
Frameshift drive charging.
debunked. Nothing presented in court suggested that the president had any involvement in, or knowledge of, the plan to eliminate his predecessor.
All clear. Stay safe, Commander.
Warning of ship abductions by fleet carriers.
I saw
Pilot
this interview.
Federation alert. This is an emergency bulletin to alert independent pilots that kidnappers are...
Yeah, I saw the interview with them, one of them slavers. Oh, the crate, but more for exploding. Yeah, the crate Phantom makes good for a good exploration ship. But I like the crate Mark II because it's a nice little well-rounder where I can do a little bit of everything with it if I want to. But it's a nice little combat. It's a really nice little combat medium class ship. I got a fighter bay in it. Got some hull reinforcements in there. Shit cell bays. I use it when I take it out for when I want to go do bounty hunting and shoot down some fools for fun. But yeah, I'm slowly working my way to that Corvette. I'm currently a chief petty officer with the Federal Navy. Which is hilarious because I've only done that like delivering mail and goods to them. So it's hilarious what passes for rank nowadays in the Federal Navy. Getting to Rear Admiral rank ain't gonna be much of shit.
Frameshift drive charging.
Pretty sure I hit all these star systems already. What, to get to Rear Admiral rank? Damn. Yeah, I'm not particularly focusing on Federation. If I think if I was doing more specific Federation stuff, I'm not even aligned with them. I'm aligned with Leon Rui. But yeah, I think if I was grinding more Federation towards the Corvette, and specifically focusing on it, yeah, that sounds about right.
Frameshift drive charging.
But yeah, I'm kind of just screwing around. I'll get to the Corvette when I get there. There's a lot of nice ships in the game. I wanna give me the Fer-de-Lance and mess around with that for a while before I eventually get the Corvette, just so that I can more appreciate the Corvette. Yeah, that's the end goal. Yeah, I can't wait to eventually get a fleet carrier. I got plans for that bastard. I'm gonna be launching him into combat and shit. Yeah, the grind is pretty bad. Hey, it's not so bad if you're like doing a lot of runs and stuff with groups and whatnot, because if you're flying in a wing anytime that somebody's doing a trade and whatnot, you can make more money off of on the back end of their trade. You know what? I'm down to, yeah, engine's too hot. There we go.
Frameshift drive charging.
But yeah, the grind can be pretty bad. I do agree with that.
4, 3, 2.
Hey, it took me forever to get to a Craig Mark II though. And then once I got my Craig Mark II the first time, I was stupid and I flew without a rebuy and I got shot out. And so I ended up back in a Sidewinder. Yeah. It took me a day to get back. It took me nearly like the better part of a week to get to it took me the better part of a week to get to the point where I had a Crate Mark II, but it took me a day to get back into a Crate Mark II once I lost one. So the grind adjusts as you progress through the game and get more into it. So it's grindy, but it's grindy and it's in a very unique way that it's not too bad. Battlestar Galactica Online, the grind was fun. Yeah, I haven't played that game. Some MMOs are alright. Every action was ending in fleet battles. I bet. Ah, shit. Come on, get me down there. Come on, get me in there. Yeah, I played a lot of Star Trek Online. That was a lot of fun. The ground missions were very repetitive, but the space missions were a lot of fun. Got really good at the PvP in that too. $50 versus 50 big ships. Jeez. Yeah, PvP in Star Trek Online was never that good. I didn't even know they had a Battlestar Galactica online game. I would have played that too. I love the second run of the TV show. Don't care too much for the original, but when they remade it, that was just brilliant television. Oh wow, you could fly the Pegasus in that game? Holy shit.
Lincoln Lima Alpha Sierra. We look forward to receiving your new station, Commander. Please follow docking procedures and enjoy your visit. Access granted. Prep for arrival on landing pad 40. You are clear
Yeah. I wonder if you could fly the Galactica. I would love to just see that hulking bastard just make its way onto a battlefield. Oh, its flak cannons going off. That was such a great show. That show was so Navy, it was not even funny. Like more so than modern Star Trek. That one was going much to like OG Star Trek roots of like being a straight on naval drama.
Landing gear deployed.
And it was like, that they treated that ship like it was a submarine and oh, it was great. I love that show. One of my all-time favorite sci-fi shows. I'd say it's my second favorite, right behind Babylon 5, which all these space stations remind me of.
Welcome, Commander.
Going through the mail slot, landing in this big circular station and whatnot. This is Babylon 5 all the way. Which is another thing that impresses me about this game is that it really takes a lot of sci-fi inspiration while simultaneously keeping it real with the science, which is great. Where Brimir carriers were, ooh. Yeah, Battlestar Galactica Online sounds like a lot of fun. Is that PC? It'd be PC, right? Yeah, that's not on a PlayStation. Alright, advanced catalyzers. That's what my next mission is. $1.1 million in profit. I'll take it. Alright. Where am I going for advanced catalyzers? Let's see here. What do we got? It's no longer online. Oh, yeah. That's the problem with a lot of online games. Eventually, sooner or later, they die. I guess that's the one good thing about Elite Dangerous is that if the servers eventually die, doesn't matter. There's always solo play. But a lot of them old MMOs, if them servers aren't up, you're SOL. Advanced catalyzers, where are they? There they are. Alright, I'm currently in the Quappa system. Yep, all my settings are good. Let's see, Nelson Terminal, I've been there before. Quite a few jumps, but let's see, what is that? LHS 531. LHS 531. It was like flying. It was like a flying base. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm hoping. That's the way that I want to treat the carrier in this game. Is like turn it into like a flying base, and just kind of like build a fleet around it. Wait, what system? 531. Yeah. Nelson Terminal. Great. Cobalt. Ooh, I'm gonna make bank on this cobalt. Standing there, active beacon, and the whole fleet jumped in. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to do with this thing is like have a fleet carrier that I can build like an attack fleet around so that like doing stuff like next time that Jupiter Rochester decides to, start some shit, just me and the fleet with my fleet carrier and all of our ships, we just all jump into the system simultaneously and start wrecking shit. Hitting up all the conflict zones and just tearing
Cargo hold
everybody
at
apart.
maximum capacity.
I'll move a fleet carrier into a combat zone. I don't. What's the worst that they're gonna do? I'll shoot them all down. All right. Got to go to Nelson Terminal in LHS 531.
Landing gear retracted.
Oh, you can't? Oh, you can't put the fleet carriers into a combat zone? That sucks. Still, you can move them into the HIP system, and then you can launch all you and all your buddies who use your fleet carrier as a base. You can all just do everything you can in that system and just use your fleet carrier as like a home base while you're there. I would actually, if I had a fleet carrier, that's what I would do. I would follow the main storyline and just do the community shit. Like, I would actually be involved in all the community crap. Yeah, you may not be able to fly it into a conflict zone, but I could have flown one into HIP and then sent everybody into combat zones. Just try to take over the system really quick. I'm sure there's a number of more of the combat-oriented squadrons that were doing the same thing. Beagle Point. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that Beagle Point.
Frameshift drive charging.
But yeah, I never really thought what I would do with a fleet carrier, but I think I would follow the main storyline and just jump from system to system with the main story if I had a fleet carrier. I mean, what else am I going to do with a fleet carrier? Park it to another fleet carrier and exploit the commodities market so that we both make shitloads of money? I've seen a lot of fleet carrier groups do that. I jumped into and I'm scanning the system, and there's a system on the other side of the galaxy. Yeah, there's Colonia. Well, you could. That's the other thing too. Is like once you get outside the bubble, there's not too many systems that have space stations. There's not a shitload of space docks out there. So like, fleet carriers are kind of like the de facto space dock in systems where there wouldn't be. So I kind of, like you'd find, one thing you could do with a fleet carrier is like find that system that nobody's been to yet, and you can just be that first space station that's there, so that when players eventually do get there and try to mine whatever or do whatever, they can sell at your space station because you're the only space dock in that system. I mean, that's the one cool thing about fleet carriers.
Frameshift drive charging.
Colonia's not even. Oh, Beagle Point is a system on the other side of the galaxy. Okay. Yeah, Beagle Point is some. I mean, Colonia is somewhere. Yeah, Colonia is somewhere near the center almost. But yeah, Beagle Point would be on the other side. The USS Los Angeles. I never had thought about the
Frameshift
name.
drive charging.
Huh. I'd have to think about that one. Alright, where to next? Or furry carrier or something like that. I wonder if you can have more than one fleet carrier.
Frameshift drive charging.
I doubt it. One would be bad enough. That's too much money. Nope, only one. Yeah, I kind of figured. That would just be a little too exploitative. Because, like I was saying, I jumped into one system. There was something like 163 carriers or something like that. It was like, yeah, it was like 160 something carriers. In one system. And they were all like parked around each other and shit. They were all parked at like there was like one planet with like a bunch of moons around it, and they were all parked around the various moons of that one planet. 160 fleet carriers all in one place. You know, so I figure like they were just like exploiting the mining and commodities market, because like there's no reason why there needs to be that many fleet carriers all in one spot. That's ridiculous. I wouldn't know. Quite a few, probably. I think I saw a fleet carrier's name one time mention furries. So I'm sure. So I'm sure there's more than a few.
Recon Lima Alpha Sierra. It's a pleasure to have you at this federal station, Commander. Access granted. Make your way to landing pad 17. Automated docking confirmed.
Hell, I saw a fleet carrier mention BDSM. It's like, really? Like, some of these fleet carrier names are unapologetic.
Scan detected. Landing gear deployed.
Alright, what was this? Brawn? Yeah, it's picking up what? Advanced catalyzers?
Landing sequence completed. Deploying ground crew.
What do we got? Oh, sell. Give me my money. $2.5 million pure profit. I'll take it. Advanced catalyzers. How much I need of these? 63. Alright, and then I'm flying back with a load of what? Looks like consumer technology. Yep, consumer technology. That's up. Load that up.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Alright. Cool, yep, that's my last one of these missions. Take me home.
Landing gear retracted.
Coupler disengaged. Regulate speed until clear of
To each their own, I guess. I mean, yeah, I'm more or less ambivalent about a lot of things like that. Doesn't bother me none.
Reports of heavy traffic within the area. Maintain safe clearance distance.
Frameshift drive charging.
I mean, that's just how I am about, yo, I don't know.
You have the all clear. FFC signing off.
Alright, so getting back to grade, I think once I get back to grade, I don't know. See how close I am to that type. So that's what I'm trying to switch out this Type 7 for. I think I might switch over to my crate.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Yeah. Yeah, it's stupid. It's
Frameshift drive charging.
completely unnecessary. Like if it doesn't personally affect you, why do you give a shit so much, you know? Like, I don't understand why people get so nuts about the most ridiculous shit, and it's like, yeah, but it doesn't personally affect you. Like it doesn't. Neither you nor anybody. It doesn't. What? Nothing harms anything, but stupid people can't mind their own damn business and want to run other people's shit.
Frameshift drive charging.
You know, that's a big problem in this country. Is like a lot of people are like, you know, I got freedom. Well, a lot of people think that freedom means telling other people what to do. That's not freedom. It's being a dick. You know, we need to legally legislate on this thing and that thing, and points out the 1% that is not safe for work. Yeah. Yeah, the media sensationalizes it like they do everything else because it's good for the clickbait and the ratings.
Frameshift drive charging.
It's like story I was looking at the other day is like how the ratings for like all the mainstream media outlets are like have gone way down now that Trump's out of office, and so like they're all like trying to. There's a consideration of how to still try to keep him relevant because they need him for the ratings, and it's like no, you don't need to do that. Fuck you and your ratings. Like, you know, that's the thing about media companies is that they only care about what's profitable. And what's profitable for a media company is how many eyeballs they can get on something. So they make it as clickbaity as possible.
Frameshift drive charging.
So they sensationalize everything and they make everything, you know, seem worse or more over the top than what it actually is, and then they, you know, it's all for the clickbait so they can sell everything to their advertisers, make more money so that they can continue their multi-million-dollar lifestyles that all their anchors and shit enjoy. Yeah, no. That didn't used to be the way. We used to have rules that prevented media companies from being that exploitative for the sake of their own profits. We used to keep them non-profit, but then, you know, I think it was Reagan who changed the rules, and then that all went to shit.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yep. Yeah, there is. Yeah, people really do need to grow the fuck up. This country needs to grow the fuck up. But yeah, it blows my mind the shit that media gets away with nowadays. You can basically just go on television, lie your ass off. It's totally okay because freedom of speech, especially the taxes here in California, need to go down. Well, taxes is a complex issue more than what needs to go up or down. Like, yeah, they probably do need to readjust it to pertain to people's incomes better, and I'm sure the property taxes out there are absolutely fucking ridiculous. But how we do property taxes in general is, in this country, is absolutely ridiculous. The whole system needs to be overhauled. But, you know, yeah, taxes don't necessarily need to go down. Well, some taxes need to go down. Other taxes need to actually be shut the hell up. they need to go up. But different taxes for different things affect different things in other ways. But what what's more important is the allocation of that tax money. Um, it's not that the budget's necessarily. It's not that the revenue income. Well, yeah, some of the revenue income is short because we don't tax rich people in this country at all. We refuse to. But we are how we allocate that money after the fact is also something that we are not doing efficiently as well either. And so, like, we wouldn't have a lot of the problems that we had if we were allocating our money more appropriately. But instead, you know, we plug our money into shit like the military budget and whatnot. What is it? Last year, we increased the military budget by 80 billion. 80 billion to increase it. It's already over 700 billion at that point. It was like it's now like over 800 billion. But we increased it by 80 billion last year or the year before, whatever it was. You know what it would have cost to provide universal education, trade schools, colleges? It would have been $60 billion to provide for every American all the education they would ever need. Any American who would want trade school, secondary school, college, whatever. I mean, just make all education as public like we do public schools, like we do grade schools. We could have done that for $60 billion, but no, we spent $80 billion on a military budget and a bunch of other ridiculous shit that we don't need. If we were spending our money right, taxes wouldn't be necessarily the problem, the hot button issue that they end up being. But we don't spend our money right. We throw it away on dumb shit. Just so that some capitalists out there can make a buck. So that somebody can get their military contract. So that, you know, some South American country can get, you know, we can control their bananas. Well, the thing is though, is like the state, like things that the public pay for should be the public's. You know, it wasn't electrical companies that built an electrical grid. It was taxpayer dollars that did.
Landing gear deployed.
It wasn't internet service providers that created the internet. It was American taxpayer dollars that did. It's our infrastructure, but we decided, our elected officials decided to hand it over to private corporations so that, you know, they could profit off of us and stuff. Well, why do we have these middlemen getting in the way and hiding behind a paywall what is public infrastructure? It was public infrastructure that built schools and colleges and whatnot. It was public money that built hospitals. So who the hell are these mobster middlemen coming in and jacking us for our shit that's rightfully ours? And why is it that these people that we apparently elected are the ones allowing them to do it? It's asinine. It's the most ridiculous dumb shit. Like, no, if public money pays for something, then the public should benefit from it. We don't hand it over to corporations to profit off of. It's like with prisons, private prison companies. What are they? Your profit incentive is what? To make sure that more people are thrown in jail. So, gee, I wonder what that company is going to be advocating for every elected official to do. We don't need to be of every aspect of every person's life, no matter what. It's ridiculous. Like, some things should be non not for profit. But we got this weird fascination with everything's gotta make a dime off of every fucking aspect of every person's life, and it's just disgusting. And we gotta change our attitude about that. Change our attitude about that, then we can change everything. Alright. Let's see. Alright, I got 22 mil right now. Let's see. Shit, no. I don't want to do that. No. Get me out. What do we got? Type 9 had purchase options. I need 42 million to exchange my ship as is to get that bastard. I'm halfway there. More than halfway there. Let's see. Throw some money into this thing, see if I can improve it in any way. Shield generator. That's good. Fuel scoop A. Core eternal. Power. Life. B. Yep. Yeah, we could. I know I could. Military grade composite. I can drop that and it's gonna kill my jump distance. Oh well. But that tanky bastard's gonna be a tank. Plus it will invest my money, which is always good. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Yeah, I don't like the other grade composites. Utility mounts. Ah, I keep forgetting this. Shield booster's alright, but I want points for it on this. I just really hate politics, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Thing is, though, is like, the problem with politics is there's too much selfishness in it. Like, I try to look at things very logical, very practical. There's not a lot of that in politics because there's a lot of feeling and personal angst involved, a lot of emotion. And it's, frankly, I think unnecessary in politics, but people are different. But yeah, I've never really had a problem with politics myself. But I do get why people do. Alright, well, I got some shit I gotta take care of. Let's see. I will be back in a few minutes. I need to take a break. I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut the stream here. Well, bye, Alvin. And to anybody else who stopped by, really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.